Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I'm Lorna and we're reading Flat Stanley, the Great Egyptian Grave Robbery, written by S. Pennypacker and created by Jeff Brown. And this is Chapter 3, Walk Like an Egyptian. Stanley found being out in the sunshine very pleasant after being cooped up in a dark envelope for so long. Is it always this warm and sunny in Egypt, he asked. It's not always this warm, Amici answered, but yes, it's usually sunny. It doesn't rain often, but when it does, we can get downpours. She pointed to a beautiful river in the distance, fringed with palm trees. Sometimes the Nile floods, and in the spring there are sandstorms. Amici was a very good guide. She pointed out mosques and gardens and historical sites. They stopped at a stall where she treated Stanley to some Egyptian food, falafel, kebabs and dates. They ate as they walked and Stanley found it all very tasty indeed. Well, here we are. Amicia nodded across the street to a narrow alleyway crowded with booths. That's the Antiquities Bazaar you were addressed to. She turned and pointed to a sign above them. Natural Historical Museum. And here's where my father works. Would you like to come in? He'd be so thrilled to meet you. Stanley wanted to get right to work on the archaeological adventure, but he knew being polite and friendly always paid off. Lead the way, he said. Amici laughed as they stepped inside. See those hieroglyphs? They'll lead the way. Stanley admired the black images on the wall. Hieroglyphs were used by the ancient Egyptians. They drew people and animals to show the direction to follow. My father had these to point the way to his office, Amici explained. As they walked through the rooms in the museum, Stanley saw many amazing things. Golden masks and statues, silver and bronze coins, turquoise and ivory jewellery, beautifully decorated urns and pots. Your country is full of treasures, he marvelled. Yes, Amici agreed, but we're losing them. Criminals are looting the pyramids and then exporting the artefacts. My father says they are even worse than sneak thieves. Well, here we are. They entered the office marked Curator. Inside, a tall, smiling man came over and hugged Amici. Father, this is Stanley Lambchop, she said. Stanley Lambchop, Amici's father repeated, scratching his head. Now where have I heard that name before? Your pen pal's letter, Amici reminded him. He slapped his head. Holy sarcophagus, the sneak thief's hero. He stood back and looked at Stanley. Yes, just as old Darty described you, flat as a pancake. What a thing! That bulletin board, it was hanging over your bed, is that the story? About how far off the floor? Father, Amici said, remember, Mother strictly forbade you trying to flatten me. Right, of course. Now, what brings you to our country, Stanley? Stanley explained about the request to help with an important archaeological expedition. Very interesting, said Amici's father. Now, that bulletin board, exactly how heavy was it? Do you recall? Father. Of course, I know. It's just that, so simple really. What a help to the famous museum. Really, Stanley, when old Darty explained to me what you did, how brave you were. Stanley blushed. He really hadn't done much more than hang inside a picture frame and then yell for the police when the sneak thieves came in. He didn't tell Amici and her father this, but what had taken the most courage, actually, was wearing a dress in the painting. May I give you a personal tour of our museum, said Amici's father. It would be an honour. I'm sure I would enjoy that, Stanley said, but the letter said the situation was urgent. I think it's time I got to work. He said goodbye to Amici and her father and left the museum. Join me for Chapter 4.